30% of your recovery, gone. Your training's perfect, nutrition's dialed, but if you're missing these 5 sleep levers, you're leaving that 30% on the table. Here's what elite athletes do differently. Most people think recovery is just about getting 8 hours of sleep. But the truth is, 2 athletes can both get 8. One wakes up recharged, the other still feels wrecked. The difference isn't the hours. It's how you manage these 5 recovery factors. And that's exactly what I'm breaking down today. The same science-backed strategies NBA stars use to squeeze out extra percentage points, Olympic sprinters use to bounce back from two-a-days, and high-level executives rely on to perform under pressure. If you lock these in, you'll not only sleep better, you'll fall asleep faster, wake up sharper, and adapt to training in ways you've never experienced before. And we'll start with the easiest win. Something you can do tomorrow morning that helps you fall asleep 15 to 20 minutes faster. The fastest way to improve tonight's sleep actually starts tomorrow morning. Your body has an internal clock, and if it's off, your sleep is off. The number 1 reset button, light. And here's why it's so powerful. Even on a cloudy day, outdoor light is 10 to 20 times brighter than your indoor lighting. Research from Stanford's sleep lab shows just 10 minutes of sunlight within 30 minutes of waking improves melatonin production by up to 50% later that night. Translation, you'll fall asleep 15 to 20 minutes faster and boost your deep sleep by up to 30%. So here's the rule. Get outside within 30 minutes of waking, 10 minutes minimum. No sunglasses, no phone scrolling, let natural light hit your eyes. And if you train early, that morning light does double duty. It primes your nervous system for peak performance during your session and locks in better sleep that night. That's why elite athletes build outdoor warm-ups into their morning training blocks. That's the anchor that sets your clock. But it won't matter if you stay stuck in high gear when it's time to sleep. Lever number 2 is all about shifting out of fight or flight so your body can recover. Ever climb into bed exhausted, but your brain feels like it's still sprinting? That's your body stuck in fight or flight mode. And it's the number 1 reason athletes can't fall asleep, even when they're wiped. Training, competition, even work stress cranks up your sympathetic nervous system, the same gear that helps you hit PRs or crush a presentation. But if you never downshift into recovery mode, your heart rate stays elevated, cortisol stays high, and your sleep pays the price. This is the same breathing protocol Navy SEALs use before high-stress missions. And Stanford research confirms it reduces heart rate by 5 to 10 beats per minute and cuts cortisol by 50% in just 5 minutes. Here's the tool I give my athletes. Box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold for 4. But make sure you actually do 5 minutes. Athletes who use this consistently fall asleep 10 to 15 minutes faster and wake up with lower resting heart rates because their body finally gets the signal to recover. Think of it this way. Training stresses your body. Breathing resets the system. Without that reset, you can carry stress into the night and recovery never fully happens. So you've set your clock. You've learned how to downshift out of stress mode. But even with perfect habits, life happens. You miss sleep. And that's where lever number 3 comes in. Understanding recovery debt and how to pay it back. Even with the best sleep habits, life happens. You stay up late, you travel, you miss hours. And that creates what's called recovery debt, a hidden drain on your performance. Think of it like a bank account. Every night of good sleep makes a deposit. Every short night is a withdrawal. The problem, just like financial debt, recovery debt charges interest. And you can't out-train it. Research shows even one night under 7 hours increases reaction time errors by 13%. By night 3, sprint performance can drop by more than 20%. That's why athletes who ignore recovery debt see accuracy, speed, and decision-making crash within days. So how do you pay it back? Here's the rule. If you sleep less than 7 hours, add a 20 to 30 minute nap before 3 p.m. the next day. Can't nap? Push bedtime 30 minutes earlier that night. It doesn't erase the debt, but it keeps interest from piling up. Elite teams actually program recovery into their schedule. Olympic sprinters nap between sessions. NBA players protect pre-game rest windows. They treat recovery as seriously as training because they know missing it costs them points on the scoreboard. Here's the takeaway. You can't grind your way through recovery debt. The longer you ignore it, the more performance you leave on the table. So we've covered the hours you get and what happens when you miss them. But not all sleep is equal. The type of sleep matters just as much as the total. And that's lever number 4. Here's the part most people miss. Not all sleep is equal. Your body cycles through different types of sleep, and each one restores something different. Deep sleep is when your muscles repair, growth hormone spikes, and your immune system resets. REM sleep is when your brain consolidates skills, stores memories, and sharpens reaction time. Stanford Sleep Lab has tracked this in elite athletes for over a decade, and they found that matching the right type of sleep to your training load can improve adaptation rates by up to 18%. Here's where training load matters. Heavy lifting or sprint work increases your body's demand for deep sleep. Endurance or high skill practice puts more pressure on REM. That's why elite programs now use sleep trackers to match training type to recovery windows. They're not just counting hours, they're optimizing sleep architecture. So here's the rule you can use. Finish heavy lifts at least 8 hours before bed. A 2019 study in the Journal of Sports Sciences found that training within 4 hours of bedtime delayed sleep onset by up to 45 minutes. Your nervous system just can't downshift fast enough. And for high skill work, think shooting drills, technique sessions, complex plays. Get those in earlier when you can. Your brain needs REM sleep to consolidate what you practiced. And REM happens more in the second half of the night. Training skills in the morning or early afternoon gives your brain time to process before bed. Want proof? If you use a tracker like Whoop, Aura, or even your iPhone sleep app, check your deep versus REM breakdown. Athletes who time strength sessions 8+ hours before bed consistently see 12 to 15% more deep sleep. Those who do skill work earlier log 8 to 10% more REM. No tracker, just pay attention. If you wake up sore but mentally sharp, you probably got REM but missed deep sleep. If you feel foggy but not sore, opposite problem. So you've got the hours, you've learned how to pay back debt, and you're even matching the type of sleep to your training. Now here's where most athletes go wrong. They try to fix all this with expensive gadgets and recovery tech. Some work, most don't. And in lever number 5, I'll show you exactly which tools are worth it and which ones are just burning your money. Here's where most athletes go wrong. They try to fix their sleep with gadgets and hacks. Some of these actually help, most don't. Let's be clear. If your hours, stress, and sleep type aren't handled, no gadget will save you. But once the basics are in place, the right tools can give you that extra edge. Massage guns and cold plunges, great for short-term soreness and mood, but the research shows they don't reliably improve sleep quality. On the other hand, EMS, when used in recovery mode, has been shown to reduce muscle damage markers like creatine kinase by 10 to 20% compared to passive rest. It also helps downshift your nervous system so you fall asleep easier and wake up less sore. That's why I use EMS as the final lever with athletes. It's not magic, it's not a replacement for the basics, but it's one of the few tools that actually moves the needle when everything else is dialed in. So there you have it, the 5 levers that actually drive recovery. Now, I want to hear from you. Which lever are you gonna test tonight? Drop it in the comments. I'll be checking to see which ones people are starting with. And if you want all 5 levers in one place, I put together a sleep optimization checklist. It's linked in the description so you can screenshot it, track progress, and share it with your teammates. Here's the other thing. Athletes dial in their sleep with these levers, but they still wake up with neck tension and tight traps. It's not a sleep problem. It's what they're doing during the day. So this Tuesday, I'm showing you how to fix neck tension from screens so your rib cage can move and your pressing feels pain-free. Subscribe now so you don't miss it.